Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and member of the boards. Today, me and my team, Arthur, Sopti, and Diya, are going to present to you the problems with tripods and the solutions to them. And we are interns at Procter & Gamble. Our presentation will be divided into 4 parts. We're going to talk about the accidental consumption of tripods, then the tripod challenge, the Twitter campaign, and the financial issues. The accidental consumption of tripods. This affects 2 categories of people, young children and adults suffering with dementia. And this involves the confusion between candy or sweets with tripods. And as you can see from this picture, it is easy to understand why this happens. Because the color, shape, size, texture, and weight resembles closely to the ones of the candies or the sweets on the right. And this is also a very big problem because, as you can see from this chart, this is the total calls made to the poison center involving laundry tripods. And most of these involve accidental consumption of the tripods by children. And we've come up with 4 ways to try and overcome this problem. First, we've changed the taste. We've made the layer of the tripod and the tripod itself more bitter, so that when it comes in contact with saliva, the person does not want to eat it anymore and spits it out. Next, the outer layer. We have thickened the outer layer and made it less dissolvable, so it will less likely pop in the mouth of a child or someone with dementia. The color was also changed to make it look less attractive to the human eye and less appealing in general. Packaging was maybe one of the biggest and hardest things to do, but we've also managed to change this to make it a lot more difficult to open than it was before. As you can see from the color, it was before an appealing orange, blue, and white kind of color that looks very much like candy and attracts people. Now we've made it more chemical looking like. It's green, light green with blue, white. This looks a lot less attractive, and children may not as much want it as the other one. The packaging. We've made 2 different types of packaging to try and help this. The first one is this sort of box, but it's not a normal package. The lid needs to be pressed on both sides and twisted at the same time for it to open, which is very hard, nearly impossible for a child to do. And this is basically like medicine bottles, very hard to open and easy to close, making life a lot easier. And then we have the zip closing for the package like this, as you can see. This is no normal zip. There is a lever on top of the zip that needs to be pressed down at the same time as it is being pulled back. So again, something that's fairly complicated and very hard to get on the first try. The next part will be by Sopti about the tripod challenge.
So, hello everyone, my name is Sopti and I will present the second problem, which is the tripod challenge. So, what is tripod challenge? Earlier this year, around January, there is a trend among teenagers and YouTubers filming themselves eating the detergent pot and post it on social media in order to gain attention, to be popular, and maybe they want to earn money from the video they posted. And by eating those detergent pot, it is very harmful and it becomes a challenge. Despite the warning and the instruction label on the packaging, those teenagers still intentionally eat it. And it causes many harmful effects because it makes you difficult to breathe and swollen because our immune system creates the enzyme. So in response, in the first 15 days of 2018, there is 39 cases reported to the American Association of Poison Control Center of teenage age around 13 to 19 intentionally consume the detergent pot. And in response to the tripod challenge, Procter & Gamble has made some change and take action on the internet to make the tripod challenge trend decrease. Procter & Gamble give advices on Twitter. They change the coding text. They cooperate with between the internet company and make some advertisement. So they take action on Twitter, which means they tweet they tell the teenage what to do if they intentionally or accidentally consume the pot, and who to contact if they consume it. The second solution to the Tide Pod challenge is the new terrible coating taste. They add new chemical substances to the coating called BTEX, which is very bitter, so that when you put it in your mouth, your stomach creates extra acid, so you would vomit even before the coating dissolves. Because if it dissolves, all the chemical substances that go into your lung, your stomach, will cause severe burn. And the third solution to the Tide Pod challenge is the cooperation with the internet. Giant social media companies such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, etc. to ban all the Tide Pod challenge videos. And the last action they take in response to the Tide Pod challenge is the advertisement featuring NFL National Football League star Rob Gronkowski to show them the main purpose of the Tide Pod, which is for doing laundry and not to be consumed. I'll pass the stage to Diya.
For my part, I will be talking about the Twitter campaign, and I will be dividing into two parts, which is the problem and solution. As there is the popularity of the Tide Pod challenge, we have noticed that the cases of consuming the Tide Pod has been going up. And we have noticed that there's a hashtag trash poison pods on Twitter, which has been going on trend. And the campaign was created by Mr. Dr. Harold Zilliger, who is a principal of the Zilliger Research and is a consultant at the Expert Institute. He has suggested that we should ban the Tide Pod products for goods if the manufacturer is a Procter & Gamble have failed to make the product safe for the customers. And he have also suggested that we should make the product less attractive to the children and elderly who may consume them by changing the color or the bright color of the product into dark color and reduce the pleasant smell and make it less squishy. For the solution, we have took his suggestion and we have redesigned the product to make it safer by have mentioned above, which changed the color and change the color from the bright into the dark color. And second of all, we changed the packaging, which is kid safe, which is very hard to open. And second of all, we have been working to spread awareness of the misuse of Tide Pods on social media platforms, which are Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. And we have working with the public in order to make them to remove the any video of the Tide Pod challenge. And for the second solution, we have contacted Dr. Harold Zilliger to make by sending in a letter in order to make the collaboration with him. In that letter, we have also mentioned that we have took his suggestion by changing and redesigning the product and have working alongside with the public. And moreover, we have mentioned that we have doing our best to prevent it from happening. And we have mentioned that his concern for the product is our company concern too. Let's move on to the financial slides.
Thank you, Diya. So moving on to the financial issues, Procter & Gamble's revenue is on the rise, an increase of exactly 1.03%. However, this is due to a reduced corporate tax under the Trump administration, dropping it from 35% in 2017 to 21% as of 2018. However, an increase in revenue does not necessarily translate into a profitable year for Procter & Gamble. This is due to an increase in cost of goods sold, where increased from $32.5 billion in 2017 to $34.2 billion in 2018, an increase of 1.05%. This largely affected our profit. This is the increase in cost of goods sold also outpaced the increase in net sales, which is an increase of only $1.774 billion. So unfortunately, the bad news doesn't end there. Unfortunately, the share prices has also been declining, dropping to $7.94 as of May 2nd, 2018. Tide Pod sales are also on the decline. So, due to the previous problems of affected profits, increased cost of goods sold, and reduced Tide Pod sales and the share prices, the upper management believed that a solution to this would be the cancellation of the annual trip to Lake Erie. As expected, employees are unhappy and therefore a potential stop work action arose. However, fortunately, we were able to send a letter to Ms. Lovejoy, who is the head of the stop work action, and we were able to negotiate and come with an agreement with her where it was beneficial to both sides. So, to conclude, we talked about the accidental, the misuse of Tide Pods involuntary by children and adults with dementia, where the solutions were to change the flavor, the color, the packaging of the products. Whereas for the Tide Pod Challenge, where the voluntary consumption of Tide Pods by teenagers, this was also changed and solved by changing the packaging as well as the tasting, including adding a bitter substance to this. Thirdly is the Tilted campaign, where Dr. Zeliger proposed a ban on the production of Tide Pods. We were able to overcome these problems by sending a letter to him, inviting him to our headquarters, cooperating with him and the public to potentially make our products much, much safer. Some of the solutions to this were changing the color from a brightly colored color to a much darker color, as well as changing the packaging, making it more difficult, and adding a bitter tasting coating. Last but not least was the ripple effects of the financial issues, where the revenue is on the rise due to a reduce in taxes, decreased share prices, decreased sales in Tide Pods, which affected our profit. The solution was to cancel the trip to Lake Erie. However, this created an additional problem, which was the stop work action, which we were able to negotiate with Ms. Lovejoy, which was beneficial to both parties. Thank you. And if there are any questions, please contact us at our respective emails, depending on the topic that we presented on. Thank you.
And for my own advice, there's so many ways to be popular on social media, so Tide Pod Challenge is not one of them. It is dangerous. You could do something amazing or unique to get the attention.
Okay. Are there any questions? That's the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.